Imagine you are strapped into a ship traveling faster than anything humanity has ever built. Faster than light itself if such a thing were possible. Your mission is simple. Reach the edge of the universe. Just point forward and never stop. At first it sounds easy. Every journey has a destination. Every road has an end. Every ocean has a shore. So somewhere out there must be a final boundary where the universe simply stops. You ignite the engines. Days become months. Months become years. Years become centuries. Centuries become millennia. The stars behind you fade into memory, but the stars ahead never seem to change. You keep waiting for the universe to become smaller. You expect galaxies to grow fewer. You expect darkness to take over. It never happens. Instead, the opposite begins. The farther you travel, the more galaxies appear ahead of you. Endless rivers of stars stretch across the darkness. Massive glowing nebulas paint space with blue, purple and crimson clouds. Giant spiral galaxies drift silently through the void like islands floating on a black ocean. It is breathtaking. It is beautiful. And then it becomes terrifying. Because no matter how far you go, nothing looks closer to ending. You check your navigation system again and again. Every calculation says the same thing. There is still no edge. Here is the shocking truth. Even if you had started this journey at the very first instant of the Big Bang and traveled in a perfectly straight line at the speed of light for the entire age of the universe, you still would not have reached the end. Not because your ship is too slow. Not because you took the wrong direction. But because there may not be an edge at all. And if one does exist, the laws of the universe make sure you will never reach it. At that moment you realize something that changes everything. This was never a mission with a finish line. It may be a journey with no destination. And that possibility is far more frightening than. Imagine you are strapped into a ship traveling faster than anything humanity has ever built. Faster than light itself if such a thing were possible. Your mission is simple. Reach the edge of the universe. Just point forward and never stop. At first it sounds easy. Every journey has a destination. Every road has an end. Every ocean has a shore. So somewhere out there must be a final boundary where the universe simply stops. You ignite the engines. Days become months. Months become years. Years become centuries. Centuries become millennia. The stars behind you fade into memory, but the stars ahead never seem to change. You keep waiting for the universe to become smaller. You expect galaxies to grow fewer. You expect darkness to take over. It never happens. Instead, the opposite begins. The farther you travel, the more galaxies appear ahead of you. Endless rivers of stars stretch across the darkness. Massive glowing nebulas paint space with blue, purple and crimson clouds. Giant spiral galaxies drift silently through the void like islands floating on a black ocean. It is breathtaking. It is beautiful. And then it becomes terrifying. Because no matter how far you go, nothing looks closer to ending. You check your navigation system again and again. Every calculation says the same thing. There is still no edge. Here is the shocking truth. Even if you had started this journey at the very first instant of the Big Bang and traveled in a perfectly straight line at the speed of light for the entire age of the universe, you still would not have reached the end. Not because your ship is too slow. Not because you took the wrong direction. But because there may not be an edge at all. And if one does exist, the laws of the universe make sure you will never reach it. The first thing you lose is your sense of scale. From the window, your ship is surrounded by an endless ocean of stars. Every direction looks the same. Every galaxy seems impossibly distant. Every poi. You push the engines harder. The ship accelerates beyond anything humanity has ever imagined. Every system reports maximum power. Every calculation says you are moving as fast as the laws of physics should ever allow. And yet the destination keeps slipping away. At first it feels impossible. How can anything outrun light? The answer is both simple and terrifying. The galaxies are not racing through space faster than light. Space itself is expanding. Imagine drawing two dots on the surface of a balloon. As the balloon inflates, the dots move farther apart even though neither dot is actually traveling across the surface. The space between them simply grows. Now replace the balloon with the entire universe. Every second the fabric of space stretches in every direction at once. The farther away a galaxy is, the faster this expansion carries it away from you. Nearby galaxies drift apart slowly. More distant galaxies race away much faster. Go far enough and something extraordinary happens. Some galaxies begin receding faster than the speed of light. Not because Einstein was wrong. Not because physics has broken. But because space itself has no speed limit. The distance between you and those galaxies grows so quickly that even light can never cross the gap. Imagine shining the brightest flashlight ever built toward a distant galaxy. The beam leaves your ship exactly as it should. But the space ahead expands faster than the light can travel. The beam never arrives. It spends eternity chasing a destination that forever moves farther away. Now imagine that flashlight is your ship. No matter how much power you add. No matter how advanced your technology becomes. No matter how many millions of years you continue forward. Some parts of the universe remain forever unreachable. You are no longer chasing an edge. You are chasing a horizon that runs away every second you move toward it. Your navigation computer updates again. The distance has increased. You ignore the impossible odds. You refuse to turn back. If the universe wants to keep its secrets, you decide to chase them anyway. Soon the last familiar stars disappear behind you. The glow of the Milky Way fades into a tiny blur until it is swallowed by the darkness. For the first time in human history, home is no longer visible. Outside your ship there is almost nothing. No sound. No air. No warmth. Only an endless vacuum stretching farther than your eyes can imagine. Space is often shown as peaceful, but the truth is far more hostile. The temperature of deep intergalactic space hovers just a few degrees above absolute zero, around -270 degrees Celsius. It is one of the coldest environments that can exist. If your spacecraft were ever breached, there would be no dramatic explosion. No heroic final moments. The vacuum would pull the air from your lungs almost instantly. Your blood would begin to boil, not because it is hot, but because the pressure around your body would vanish. Within seconds you would lose consciousness. Within minutes, your journey would be over. But even inside the safety of your ship, another invisible enemy is waiting. Radiation. Not the kind that comes from a nuclear reactor. Something far older. Far more powerful. Cosmic rays are high-energy particles launched across the universe by exploding stars, supernovas, and some of the most violent events in existence. They travel through space at nearly the speed of light, carrying enough energy to pass straight through metal, electronics, and even human tissue. Your hull stops many of them. But not all. One particle slips through. Then another. Then thousands. They strike your body one by one, damaging cells, breaking DNA, and slowly increasing the risk of radiation sickness, organ failure, and deadly cancers. You cannot see them. You cannot hear them. You cannot dodge them. Every second you remain in deep space, they keep coming. Your ships. At first, you think it is a problem with your instruments. The stars ahead seem a little dimmer. A distant galaxy that was visible only days ago no longer appears on your display. You restart the navigation system. You recalibrate every sensor. Everything comes back normal. The universe is changing. As billions of years pass, the expansion of space continues to accelerate. Galaxies that were once visible drift farther and farther away until their light can no longer reach you. They do not explode. They do not burn out. They simply fade beyond a cosmic horizon that nothing can cross. One by one, the lights of the universe disappear. The brilliant clusters that once filled the darkness become faint smudges. Those smudges shrink into tiny points. Then even those points vanish forever. You stare through the cockpit window. The silence grows heavier. There are still galaxies out there. You know they exist. But their light will never arrive. It is trapped by the relentless expansion of space, stretched farther and farther until it becomes impossible to detect. Astronomers believe this is the distant future of our own universe. Tens of billions of years from now, observers inside the Milky Way may look into the night sky and see almost nothing beyond their own galaxy. No neighboring galaxies. No giant cosmic web. No evidence that the universe was ever filled with countless islands of stars. Future civilizations could spend thousands of years studying the heavens and conclude that their galaxy is the entire universe. Not because they are wrong. Because every clue has disappeared. Now imagine you are still traveling. Your maps become useless. Your landmarks vanish. Every direction looks exactly the same. There are no familiar constellations. No bright galaxies to guide your course. Only darkness stretching endlessly ahead. For the first time, you understand the true meaning of being lost. You are not lost because you took a wrong turn. Why? You stop looking for a wall. You stop expecting a boundary. Because every law of physics, every observation, and every passing billion years points toward one terrifying possibility. There is no edge. Some cosmologists believe the universe may be finite but unbounded. Imagine standing on the surface of Earth. No matter which direction you walk, you never reach an edge. There is no cliff where the planet suddenly ends. Instead, if you could keep walking forever without oceans or mountains stopping you, you would eventually arrive back where you started. Now imagine the universe behaving the same way. Except instead of curving through two dimensions like Earth's surface, it curves through dimensions our minds can barely picture. Your ship continues straight ahead. Millions of years pass. Billions follow. You never hit a wall. You never cross a final border. One day, your navigation computer detects something impossible. A faint signal. Its frequency matches the exact emergency beacon your ship transmitted at the beginning of the journey. You dismiss it as an error. Then the signal grows stronger. Soon your cameras capture a distant spacecraft. Its shape is familiar. Its engines burn with the same blue glow. Its hull carries the same scratches from the day you launched. Slowly, an unbearable realization settles over you. You are looking at your own ship. You never reached the edge. You traveled so far through a curved universe that you returned to your starting point. There was never a finish line. Only a loop so enormous that an entire civilization could rise and fall before completing it. But there is another theory. One that is even harder to accept. What if the universe is not curved? What if it is truly infinite? No matter how far you travel, another galaxy waits beyond the next. Beyond that galaxy lies another. Then another. Forever. There is no last star. No final planet. No outer wall separating existence from nothingness. You are not the first to dream about reaching the edge of the universe. Humanity has been trying to push farther into the unknown for generations. Every new telescope has looked deeper. Every new spacecraft has traveled farther. Every mission has carried the same silent question. How far can we go? Our greatest attempt began in 1977. A small spacecraft named Voyager 1 lifted off from Earth with a mission that was never supposed to last this long. It flew past Jupiter. Then Saturn. After completing its primary mission, it kept going. Year after year. decade after decade. Long after the scientists who built many of its instruments had retired, Voyager 1 continued drifting into the darkness. Today, it is the most distant human-made object ever created. It travels at more than 60,000 kilometers per hour, faster than a rifle bullet by an unimaginable margin. Yet compared with the size of the observable universe, its journey is almost impossible to measure. If the observable universe were the size of Earth, Voyager would not have crossed a continent. It would not have crossed a country. It would barely have taken its first step away from the front door. That is how enormous the cosmos truly is. Every signal Voyager sends takes many hours to reach Earth. Even moving at the speed of light, its radio messages crawl across the darkness before finally arriving at giant antennas waiting on our planet. And still, Voyager has not reached another star. It has not crossed the Milky Way. It has not come remotely close to leaving our galaxy. Its incredible journey is only the smallest scratch on the surface of an ocean that has no visible shore. Now imagine replacing Voyager with your ship. Imagine giving it unlimited fuel. Perfect engines. A crew that never ages. Even then, the mathematics refuses to change. The universe remains unimaginably larger than anything you can cross. Your greatest enemy was never distance alone. It was time. You slow the engines. Not because you have reached the edge. But because you finally understand that there was never an edge waiting for you. The stars continue shining. Galaxies continue drifting through the darkness. The universe carries on exactly as it always has, completely indifferent to your search. You look one last time through the cockpit window. There is no wall. No doorway into another reality. No giant boundary separating everything from nothing. Only an endless horizon that retreats the moment you move toward it. For thousands of years, humanity imagined the universe as a place with an ending. Ancient civilizations pictured great walls surrounding the heavens. Others believed the stars were fixed to a massive celestial dome. Today we know something even stranger. Reality may have no final border at all. The universe may curve back upon itself, creating a journey with no finish line. Or it may stretch forever in every direction, expanding into distances so vast that words like far, large, and infinite lose all meaning. Either possibility leads to the same conclusion. You were never going to reach the edge. No civilization will. No technology ever built can overcome the expansion of space itself. No engine can outrun a horizon that keeps moving away. The greatest mystery in the universe is not what lies beyond the edge. It is the possibility that there has never been an edge to begin with. Perhaps that is the lesson every explorer must eventually learn. Some questions are not waiting for an answer. Some destinations are not waiting to be discovered. They exist only to remind us how small we truly are. You think about Earth. A tiny blue world orbiting an ordinary star on the edge of an ordinary galaxy. Every human who has ever lived. Every empire. Every war. Every dream. Every laugh. Every goodbye. All of it happened on a speck of dust floating through an ocean so enormous that even our greatest achievements barely